a good Saturday morning to you, and welcome to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, brought to you by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. It's Racing Radio here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. I'm your host, Mike Stanhope, and thanks so much for joining us today. Taking a little breather this week as we move into the home stretch of the first half of the 2013 season at Cocopah Speedway. Next race up, round number 9 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series, coming next Saturday night. That'll be Armed Forces Day at the Diamond in the Desert, with a special salute that night to the men and women, the veterans past, present, and future who protect our freedoms. And visiting with us as part of today's edition of Laptime Live is Yuma's Bryan Gray, driver of the number 83 IMCA Modified and a veteran of the United States Marine Corps. A season of steady progress for Gray, who sits 10th in the modified point standings, and he'll be joining us in just a few minutes. First, a final look back at last Saturday's race action at Cocopah Speedway, where once again a number of drivers, well, it's fair to say they outdid themselves in a fast and furious night of competition. And as we look forward to Armed Forces Day at the Speedway next Saturday, we take notes of one of the most heartwarming scenes you'd ever want to be a part of. Tears of joy flowing freely last Saturday during a special opening ceremony that saw Air Force crewman Chester Daffern Jr. reunited with his mother and father, along with the rest of the racing Daffern family, out on the Speedway's front chute. Chet had just returned from his 7th deployment to Afghanistan, his father leaping into his arms as Chet Jr. emerged from one of the Daffern team cars in a surprise to all who were present. And to complete the circle, so to speak, Chet's cousin, Stephen Daffern, in the number 81, he drove off with the Fisher Automotive Street Stock win.
Yeah, yes it did. My cousin being back from Afghanistan, it was a pretty good family present to everybody. That was a tough one, though. It wasn't just handed to you. I mean, you had to wait, but it was there. I'm glad everybody was here. Last race, we had family from Texas and Baltimore. Now we got my cousin back in the Air Force, so that's how we do it.
Daffern had initially resigned himself to a second-place finish, but got back into it after the early leader, Alpine's Mike Harlan, had some difficulty in racing his way through lap traffic. Harlan ultimately wound up third, with Chula Vista's Manny Baldavias moving up to the second spot. Well, 2 drivers scored their first feature event wins of the year last Saturday. Imperial Steve McCullough in the number 15, racing off to the feature win in the IMCA Modifieds, overcoming some late cautions that bunched the field behind him.
But hey, it's good to get one. I don't care what it takes. It was fun.
You mentioned the hard work to get here, and it has been a little while coming.
Yeah, I think this is my first one in about 14 races or so, and it feels good to be back. Hopefully we could stay.
Finishing behind McCullough were Imperial's Lance Murray in the 19 SB, with Brawley's Russell Allen third. Yuma's Bobby Horton and John Malloy rounded out the top 5. Also picking up his first feature event win of the year, Holtville's Chris Toth in the 57 CT, who raced off to the win in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods. A season of improvement for Toth, who has seen his performance pick up week after week.
It's been a long time coming. I'd like to thank Lance Murray and MRT Race Cars and Aaron. They helped me get the car together this week. My wife had surgery on Wednesday, and so I was away from the shop most of the week, and I'd like to take this win and give it to her for her surgery, and hopefully she's doing good right now.
Toss win, putting an end to the undefeated season by Yuma's Ty Rogers in the number 8T. That end, though, coming not really on the racetrack, but rather on the end of a tow hook, as early race leader Timmy Reese spun directly in front of Rogers, the ensuing collision damaging Rogers' car and ending his night early. Reese overcame that incident to take second, with Yuma's James Dupree in the third spot, Brawley's Cody Daffern, and Yuma's Miles Morris taking 4th and 5th. Turning to the Napa Auto Parts factory stocks, Yuma's Jordan White in the number 86 made another visit to victory lane, battling for the lead with Miles Morris early, spinning, going to the back, and then racing back to the front to duke it out with Morris again. White getting to the checkers first.
Yeah, after I spun out, I just let the car get away from me in turn 2. Luckily, I caught him right back and had a lucky yellow, and so I knew that at that point, I just had to get around Miles, and that was an awesome race. He's really, really fast, but was just a good race.
White tipping the cap there to Morris, who wound up second. Yuma's Jason Bashirs and Rick Hibbard picked off the third and fourth spots, with Somerton's Michael Laura finishing in the 5 spot. And finally, in the Pro Stocks, back-to-back wins again for Yuma's Brett Samala in the number 1.
Car was pretty good tonight. Almost got taken out there about halfway through the race, but somehow the right side of the car got peeled open like a can opener, and tires kept going, so lucked out.
Samala in victory lane there. He had dove low on the track to try and avoid early leader Steve Jonas out of San Diego, whose car got sideways coming out of turn number 2. Well, following Samala to the checkers were Brawley's Jason Higginbottom, Lakeside's Mike Lurwill, Campo's Ed Buston, and Yuma's Frankie Rascone in the 5th position. Quickly looking at your individual leaders in the season points to date, Imperial's Lance Maury continues to head the IMCA Modifieds. Yuma's Brett Samala on top in the Pro Stocks. It's Brawley's Stephen Daffern still on top in the Fisher Automotive Street Stocks, with Yuma's Ty Rogers still holding a sizable advantage in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods, and Yuma's Miles Morris remaining your points leader in the Napa Auto Parts Factory Stocks. We'll have a full recap of the top 5 in all 5 divisions coming next week here on Laptime Live. Again, an off night tonight out at the Diamond in the Desert, but the anticipation, well, it is most certainly building for next Saturday night's action, round number 9 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series, a special Armed Forces Day celebration. And next here on Laptime Live, we'll talk with one of the competitors who's been in the thick of the action all year long, along with being one of the men and women we'll salute on Armed Forces Day next Saturday. That's Yuma's Bryan Gray, a Marine Corps veteran and driver of the number 83 IMCA Modified. He is set to join us next. It's Racing Radio, Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more in just a moment here on Outlaw Country AM 1400.
Sign up today at 4th Avenue Gym in celebration of their 32nd year anniversary. Now through the end of May, get 10% off your membership and get a free t-shirt while supplies last. They have 20 treadmills, tons of free weights, circuit training, locker and shower facilities for men and women, and they're open 24 hours a day. Locally owned and operated, and they've been voted Yuma's best for 10 years. 300 West 22nd Street, and visit their website, 4thavenuegym.com. Get stronger, live longer.
No matter what type of air conditioning or heating help you need, schedule some help from 1 Hour Air Conditioning. Ready for the season? 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating can help. No AC at all? 1 Hour can help. Need help upgrading your old inefficient system? 1 Hour can help. Now's the time to schedule your annual air conditioning safety inspection for just $59. Call 1 Hour today at 783-4242. Some limitations and exclusions apply.
We're always on time, but you don't play your time.
Don't miss a single second of baseball action this season with the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tune in for the crack of the bat, every home run, and every out. It's the Arizona Diamondbacks on Outlaw Country AM 1400 all season long. Root for your home team. Just turn on your radio and we'll bring the game to you right here on Outlaw Country, where we're rattling with excitement.
I'm Jace Blackwell, here for Jennifer Blackwell Photography. My mom is Jennifer Blackwell, and since I'm talking about moms, you should be thinking of yours. Mother's Day is coming up, and a gift certificate from Jennifer Blackwell Photography will make a great gift. Check out JenniferBlackwellPhotography.com today for great deals for Mom this Mother's Day. Call Jennifer today, 446-5803. That's 446-5803. Thanks for voting my mom Yuma's best photographer for 3 years.
Are you prepared to retire? Are you going to be retiring in the next 5 years? Yuma Investment Group Wealth Management will be hosting an educational seminar on how to prepare your retirement plan to be rollover ready. We will be explaining the 11 biggest blunders that people make when they retire. We will also provide you with a rollover ready checklist to make sure you're prepared. Please join us at the Yuma County Main Library on Wednesday, May 1st or Tuesday, May 21st at 6 p.m. Call 928-329-1700 to reserve your spot today. Securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA, SIPC. be.
You're listening to Racing Radio. It's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400. My name is Mike Stanhope, once again, looking ahead to next week's Armed Forces Day and round number 9 of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. And joining us now, today's special guest, Yuma's Bryan Gray, driver of the number 83 IMCA Modified. And welcome to the show, Bryan.
Thanks, Mike. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you so much for coming in and joining us today. And you brought a couple of guests with you. You want to introduce us real quick?
Sure. We have Jake Owens, and we also have his son Nash with us.
How you doing? Well, welcome to both of you this morning. And Nash, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great so far.
Well, glad to have you both in this morning along with Bryan, and we're going to talk about some of the help you provide to Bryan in just a few minutes.
All right.
I'd like to first make note of your many years of service to country in the United States Marine Corps, Bryan, and we thank you for that service. You were and still are involved with keeping Marine Corps aircraft ready to fly.
Yes, sir, we are.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
We work for VMFT 401, which is a Marine Adversary Squadron. We fly, well, actually, we maintain, but the squadron flies F-5 jets out there. Basically, you do a fly, fight, teach against any other Marine Corps or Navy or Air Force aviation squadrons.
And that is kind of a follow-on to the years of service that you had as a Marine.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell us, kind of what you did over those years?
Over the years, we did eye-level maintenance for Harriers, which is building the jet engines for them, and it's the same thing that I do now, is build the engines for them, run them on test cell, just basically verify the engines are safe to install in the aircraft.
Making sure that the sound of freedom that we hear each and every day here in Yuma is the safe sound of freedom for the men who are flying them.
Absolutely.
Yes. Well, hey, let's talk about your racing experience here in Yuma, getting the start right around 3 years ago. What prompted you to hop behind the wheel and go racing?
Well, they actually opened up the dirt track out here, so that was one thing. And then me and Jake actually went out and watched the first race, and Jake decided then that he was going to go buy a modified, so I crewed for him for about 3 races and said, to hell with this, I want my own. So we went out and we found another car, and it probably wasn't the best one, but we got out there and did some racing, and it was fun, and finally wanted to start getting competitive, and moved up and got a little bit better car, and now we're actually trying to build a new car right now.
We'll come back to that new car here in just a second, but kind of curious, you basically stepped into one of the upper divisions right off the bat. Ever wish you could go back and maybe have started in a lower division and then worked your way up?
Sometimes you think about that, but honestly, I just don't think I would have been happy. Go out there and try and learn these cars. If you go out and run in the lower division, I just know that I would have been spending money that I could have been spending in a modified.
And so you've gotten the seat time there, and as we look at your lap times, et cetera, other ways of measuring, it's been basically a steady ascendancy and improvement.
Thank you.
Well, tell us about the current car and then the new car that you've got coming together.
Okay, we're running a 05 Harris that we had picked up and then basically put back together, and it became a really good car. Just over the season, things have happened to it. We've been fighting a few issues with the car, and I think that we pretty much have what we're going to get out of that car. So what we're looking at doing is building a new car, and we have a new Shaw car that we're putting together, and we're hoping to have it done this summer, maybe do a couple runs out of town before we start our season again here in September.
Jake, can you tell us about your involvement in helping Bryan get the new machine together as well as keeping the current machine together?
Well, it's when Bryan and I started running together, we got 2 cars and we got 2 people working on both of these modifieds, which is, you're about 90% down in the personnel you need to get these things going. So once I end up kind of hanging up my driving side of it, I wanted to get in with him and try to do a lot of the maintenance and the setup and the procedures and stuff. And we spend 3 or 4 hours a night working on these things. It's time consuming. All the classes, the cars are time consuming. It's just it's a lot of time and effort to get it right. And like the old saying says, you win the races in the garage, you don't win it on the track. So there's a lot of time you got to put into the garage area to get it right. So.
Proper preparation.
That's what it takes.
Well, hey, are you bringing Nash into this now at a big way?
I'm slowly trying to bring Nash into it. Last year he'd come to the pits with Bryan and I, and he would do all our tire pressures for us and change tires for us, and he enjoyed it. We got him in there a couple times, and being with the rule change for the age for the pits, which I understand the safety aspect of it, but it kind of poured him out of it a little bit. So hopefully the next couple of years we can get him back in and maybe get him in a hobby stock or something. So we'll see.
Well, Nash, we'll certainly look forward to continuing to see you out in the pits, giving these guys a helping hand. Bryan, Jake touched on this just a little bit, but you've got a big-time balancing act going on, with your aircraft work, which obviously takes a tremendous amount of time, and then the tremendous amount of time it takes to keep a race car running. How do you balance it?
It's hard. It's a lot of long hours at night, working late night, trying to get stuff done on the car. If we have long days, and sometimes you just don't want to, so it fills your nights, it fills your weekends, it kind of consumes you, but it's a labor of love. You don't get rich doing this.
You've actually lost out on a race or two because your job required you to be elsewhere.
Yes, our job requires us to travel. We'll go to the East Coast a lot. So luckily it's only for a couple weeks, but usually we're able to stay here and not miss any races. But you gotta keep with a job that helps pay for the racing. So away we go.
Indeed. Now, you were in the thick of the IMCA Modified Winter Nationals earlier this year. A lot of out-of-town drivers were in. Were there things that you took away from that experience?
Yeah, it was incredible to be out there with some of these guys. They're great drivers. They're from all over the nation. Nice guys. You're able to go up and talk to them. They may watch you out on the track and come over and actually tell you what they think they might see with your car. It's a great thing to race with these guys. You learn so much from them. That's very helpful.
One of the things that's been a standout memory for me throughout 2013, going into the IMCA Modified Winter Nationals, the news conference that was held beforehand, you, of course, were a part of that, and among the drivers were on hand Dylan Smith, Jesse Sobbing, and just watching you fellas get together and talk back and forth after that news conference, that was really a pleasure to watch.
It was great. We expected just to go out there and have a little conference and everything was going to be done, and I think we ended up staying there for 45 minutes or so, and they were actually telling us we had to leave.
Speaking the common language of racing, God, is a good one.
It was.
Yeah. You are listening to Cocopah Speedway's Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating here on Outlaw Country AM 1400. Bryan Gray, our special guest today here on Laptime Live. And Bryan would like to talk about competition at out-of-town tracks. Is that something that you'd like to do more of going forward? Note that you've visited a couple of different places over the couple of years that you have been racing.
Yeah, we definitely want to travel a little bit. Of course, it boils down to money and time again. So we went up to Casa Grande and helped a friend of ours run up there at Casa Grande, and that's one place we're going to go and run at this summer. We went and raced at Verona, had a couple good runs up there, not a good finish at one point, but it's a lot of fun. You get to go out there and again race with new people, meet new people, new friends. There's just a lot of nice people in racing, and you meet a lot of good people, and it's a fun weekend to get out of town and go do some racing.
Always a fun weekend as well out at Cocopah Speedway. And say for a listener who's not been out to see the competition, who's not seen the racetrack, what would you pass along to them in terms of telling them what they're missing out on?
Man, it's a great time. You guys go out there. It's real family orientated. As the prices are right, and you're going to see some incredible racing out there, all the way from factory stocks, all the way pro stocks, modifieds, the sport mods, the new IMCA stock cars that are coming out are just really starting to dominate out there. I wish that we had more time where we could actually watch some of the stock cars out there run. But we get to watch a little bit of it, and then we have to go run and jump in our cars. So it's good. It's a really good show.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure to watch you and all of the competitors at Cocopah Speedway throughout 2013, and I've marveled at it week after week, and every time it seems like you cannot possibly top the action that's happened, something else, and usually more than one thing will happen during an upcoming event, and it just goes off the charts again. It's been absolutely spectacular to watch, and so glad to see you being a part of that. Can you tell us about some of the friendships that you've been able to develop through racing here in Yuma?
Yeah, there's we got Bill Miller and Cody, Keith, John Malloy. I mean, there's just a lot of people, that you meet, and they're more than willing to help you. get insight, and it's, there's all kinds of stuff going on down in the pits, before the race and after the race. It's just it's a really good friendship that you make with people down there.
A lot of time too, a lot of the guys don't realize, and especially the ones that understand too, is you get your drivers out there on the track. They're hard competitors on the track, but when you go back in the pits, a lot of times if you break something or need something, everybody's there to lend a hand, to give you parts and keep your stuff going. It's all about being competitive, but also in the pits, it's always about trying to keep everybody rolling, keep everybody happy, and keeping the competition up. And so everybody's always lending each other a hand, lending each other parts, and so forth, and it works out.
Indeed it does, and again, something that's really nice to see each and every time out at Cocopah Speedway. Well, talking about local drivers, let's broaden scope here just a second. Any particular drivers? Could be local, could be national, that you kind of look up to for inspiration, Bryan?
Bill's really helped a lot. Bill Miller has. Me and Cody, we talk a lot too. He's always fun to race with. So it's just everybody out there. I mean, me and Keith, we started racing in there, and it's you just meet so many people. It's hard to pick one person, but everybody out there is just a great person, and it's always fun to race with them. It's nice to be out there and run and know who you're running with, and that you don't have to worry about people actually being intentional, trying to mess up your stuff out there.
Well, it's usually pretty good too. Like when we had the Winter Nationals here, we had the guys coming in. We had Jesse Sabin coming in. We had Zane. We had a lot of the big time boys down here, and they're more than willing to lend a hand and not only help you with parts, but help you with knowledge, set up procedures or anything else. Maybe you're doing something wrong. I mean, these guys are all over and they love it. You can tell they love what they do, and it makes it easier for us local boys to learn from that. So
all a part of building a solid foundation and advancing the sport for the future.
Exactly.
If you weren't behind the wheel of a race car, what would you be doing, Bryan?
Wrenching on my car.
Well said.
We got a couple little hot rods, little California Special Mustang, and he's got a 67 tub Dart. So I'm sure we'd probably be running a drag car somewhere, or maybe
or something.
SCCA vintage racing or something. So it's just nice to have a local dirt track that we can go to and not have to spend as much money to go racing.
So certainly the need for speed is going to be satisfied no matter what.
Absolutely,
definitely.
Well, where would you like to be, let's say, 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What are the goals from here?
The goals from here is obviously to win a track championship. I mean, to win races. That's what we're looking forward to. That's what we want to do. It's just baby steps, trying to move up and trying to get this year, if we can get into the top 5. Would be great. We finished with a ninth place finish last year. We're looking to move up. If we can move up faster, that'll be great. But that's the whole idea of getting a new car, better equipment to try and go out there and run and be faster.
At that point, presuming that a track championship might be in your future, is that the point where then you might look to expand a little bit on a regional or national basis within the IMCA modifieds?
I don't know. I don't know that we'd actually have the time or the money to be able to do something like that, but it would definitely be fun to try. Just travel out of town and try some of that. That'd be a blast.
And certainly be able to measure yourself as well, of course, when the national events come to Yuma, which, of course, we anticipate again. So.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
We talked about inspirations, talked about where you're headed from here, but would like to ask you to talk a little bit about the people, the supporters who have helped to get you to this point in your racing career.
Well, we got Jake, obviously. He's helped out a lot. Jeff Zaya, he's always down there helping. There's just people that come down and help out a lot. We also have our sponsors, Bryce and Becky Zeller. They've really helped out quite a bit with C&D Disposal, Z Fun Factory, Wayland's Water World. Bob down at the color shop, he helps us out a little bit. We got Jody down at Foothills Automotive. There's just tons of people, that come out and give us a hand. Tim down at Discount Tires helped us from time to time. When we needed some stuff, he was able to help out, so we really appreciate that too.
And we got a lot of guys on the side too. They help us out every now and again. Some sheet metal works here, some other stuff. I got my brother Bart, Jimmy, was really great friends with ours. I mean, super good fabricators, builders. They help us from time to time. And like Bryan said, none of this can happen without money. It all takes money. And obviously the sponsors are doing really good for them. And hopefully we can get this car turned around, especially by September, and get some good finishes for them.
We will certainly look forward to seeing you in action. If not in the current car, then definitely in the new one.
And we'd also like to thank CenturyLink Communication for coming on board this year, and they've been a giant help for us, and we look forward to dealing with them some more in the future.
Well, Bryan, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show with us this morning. Jake, and to you, Nash, as well, we want to say thank you to all of you. And to Bryan, one more time, we want to say thank you for your service.
Thank you, Mike.
Marine veteran Bryan Gray, one of the stars of the 2013 Cocopah Speedway Racing Series. He'll be back in action next Saturday night in the IMCA Modifieds out at the Diamond in the Desert Cocopah Speedway. Armed Forces Appreciation Day next Saturday, with gates, as always, open at 5, racing beginning at 7 p.m. And if you've not been out to the track in 2013, hey, come on out, take a look around. Exciting race action week after week, as we've talked about, and continued fan improvements, an absolutely huge theme at Cocopah Speedway in 2013. You've heard us talk about the new concrete grandstands, the recent expansion of the pit stop bar and grill, but more on the way as the new beverage satellites are nearing completion. Work nearly complete as well on the 4 brand new spectator suites and an observation party deck off the west end of the spectator concourse. It really is something to see. Adding a little more luster to the Diamond in the Desert, Cocopah Speedway. And hey, as you make your plans for next weekend, remember that advance tickets for next Saturday's show are available at select Yuma area Napa Auto Parts stores, as well as at the Cocopah Casino gift shop. And remember, too, that shuttle buses between Cocopah Casino and Cocopah Speedway will be running, as they are for each and every race in 2013 at Cocopah Speedway. It's easy access just by parking over at the casino, maybe enjoying a late lunch, perhaps an early dinner, and some entertainment before hopping on board the shuttles and coming on over to the Speedway. It's also a great way to beat the after-exit rush. For more information on the 2013 season of racing at Cocopah Speedway, as well as Cocopah Casino and more, just visit us on the web at www.cocopahspeedway.com, and make sure to also like us on Facebook. And remember, when you're out at the racetrack, you can bring the action even closer via your smartphone or tablet with live lineups, scoring, and results. Again, those applications available through cocopahspeedway.com. You've been listening to Laptime Live, presented by Cocopah Casino and by 1 Hour Air Conditioning and Heating. And we'll be back with more next Saturday morning, 11 a.m., here on Outlaw Country, AM 1400.